You're listening to Tavern Sports Radio Network.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Welcome into the 40th episode of Show Me the Money podcast, brought to you by Tavern Sports. Tyler's not here today, but we do have Cole back, and of course, myself and Clark are here. We're going to start like we do every week, go through our lock standings. It's a big tie up at the top with myself, Tyler, and Clark all at 2-1. After Tyler and I hit our locks last week, and Clark missed on his. Clark, you kind of have doomed the Mavs, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then Parker and Cole, they didn't even know we were going to do locks last week, so we didn't get any from them. So they're still up the 1-1 mark. Let's start with the MLB, and let's go, I don't know what, like 2 continents and an ocean and a half away to start, because the USA's like 82nd alternate team went and played like fake baseball against Pakistan. And Pakistan like had home field advantage practically and made up a bunch of fucking rules, and they still lost. So get shit on Pakistan. If you don't know what we're talking about cricket.
It's
of course,
so electric.
Pakistan's like a top 3 team in the world. The US doesn't typically get invited because this is like the World Cup or some shit of cricket that's happening. The US typically doesn't get invited. I don't know why we were invited this time. But like our entire
bunch of dudes having fun. Just a bunch of dudes having fun.
Yeah, like our whole team, like it's a part-time thing for them. It's like what our best player is some kind of engineer for Oracle.
I have no clue, dude.
I mean, people are calling it the biggest miracle since the Miracle on Ice.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
No,
we put up a pretty good game against India the other day too, but India ended up winning with like 7 wickets left, I think is what they call them. I don't get it, but
yeah, you were updating us on the score in the group chat, and I was just like, what does this even mean?
Dude, I didn't even know. I was just typing numbers. But the little note that we have here, and who knows who put it here, us winning that game just proves that if we wanted to win any sport, we just can. Like, we don't win at soccer, and yes, it's called soccer, because we don't want to. There's no money to be made in it. Our best athletes play football and basketball. Like,
I'm gonna combat that one. I'm gonna combat that one. There's no way in hell we win anything in soccer.
I'm saying if our best athletes weren't playing other sports.
If we had if the way soccer was forced onto like every other country, like in America, I think we would have a really good squad.
Yeah,
because you've got kids in Brazil playing soccer since they started walking. Like we play soccer when we're young, and then we kind of fizzle off right around that middle school mark, and you find another sport.
We take on real sports.
That's what I'm saying, Cole. Like if we didn't play real men's sports, we would have the best soccer team in the world.
We're still a good squad, and we don't even have the best players we could put on the field.
Yeah,
man. There's a taco truck somewhere that we just really pissed off.
Oh, fuck, who cares? A little bit of real MLB news, though. There's really not much. The MLB's kind of in a lull. Notably, the NL is dog shit. There are 5 teams in the NL out of 15, right? There's 30 teams in the MLB. So a third of the NL is above 500, and one of those teams, the Padres, is only 2 games above 500. So if they have a bad weekend set, they're just back under 500. Pretty sad stuff coming out of the NL. But the only reason we're talking NL is because we want to talk the NL Rookie of the Year race. Imanada is still leading at plus 175. Still a good bet. Him and Skeens are now tied at plus 175. Skeens actually just had a really good outing against the Redbirds and actually got a standing ovation in St. Louis. because the kid is just a monster. But St. Louis's own Mason Wynn is plus 2,500, which isn't great, but I believe he's maybe fourth or fifth best odds. Clark, if you could help me out.
He is one, two. He's the sixth best.
So sixth best odds. But he among all rookies, he is the number one in batting average at 302, second in hits with 62, fourth in RBIs with 24, and first in stolen bases. First in total bases. Sorry, not stolen bases, total bases with 89. Sorry, I misread that. I saw 89 stolen bases. I'm like, that's not possible.
That'd be nuts.
That would be absolutely psychotic. So maybe some value there. If the Redbirds could start winning some games, I'm sure it would help his odds a lot. Really interesting that all three of those guys are in the NL Central. And none of them are on the leading team of the NL Central, the Brewers. It just kind of shows sorry, Cole.
Fuck the Brewers.
Fuck the Brewers. I agree, Cole. But it just kind of goes to show you the talent that there is coming up in the NL Central. So maybe in another year or two, they'll be back to the dominant division that they typically are, minus the Reds, of course. But at plus 2,500 with these numbers, if he can keep those numbers up and the Cardinals can start winning a few games, who knows?
Who knows? What do we got next? Anything else for baseball?
I don't have anything. If you got anything, or Cole, if you got anything you want to share about baseball,
I don't watch any baseball. I'm going to be completely honest.
I don't blame you. It's pretty hard to watch.
Really
unless you have $1,000 to shell out every season, it's pretty hard to watch baseball because of out of network blackouts and whatnot. So let's move straight into the PGA then. Of course, the U.S. Open is happening this week, and Scotty Scheffler is obviously playing in it. Fun fact about Scotty. In 7 of the last 12 weeks, Scotty has either had a baby, been arrested on felony charges, which were dropped today or yesterday.
It was recently.
Yeah, just within the last 48, 72 hours, the charges were officially dropped, or has won a professional golf tournament on the PGA Tour. So what a fucking run he's going on. It's crazy. Funnily enough, he did come out slow today, which is kind of Scotty's MO. He never is really great in the first round. I think he's +1 or even.
He's gotta be right around there.
+1. He is +1, tied 30 for 34th.
Yeah,
+1 at the Open is not bad.
He's still +600, with the second best odds right now still.
Yeah, and like I was saying, +1 at the Open is not bad. The U.S. Open, their goal every year is to try to make the winner shoot par. And maybe to the people that really don't know PGA that much, they're like, oh, well, obviously as a PGA level event, all the courses try to make everyone shoot par, but not really. There's some courses that are known for being able to go low on, and there's other courses that are known for trying to rock right at par. And they are at Pinehurst number 2 this year. And it was held there in 1999 and again in the mid 2010s. And I want to say the winning, we can look it up, I guess, but basically the leader in the clubhouse right now is -5. That's going to be a Rory and Patrick Cantley are both tied. That's going to be a really good score at the end of this weekend, let alone at the end of the first round.
Cantley's a dog.
Sorry?
Cantley's a dog.
Yeah, I didn't catch any of Cantley's round, but I saw some of Rory's. And he got in the wiry, tall grass that they have lining the fairways.
He loves staying over there for whatever fucking reason.
Dude, he was in it deep. And it was the second shot on a par 5, and he put it to 15 feet. Just a fucking stick with it. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, just kind of a quick leaderboard rundown. We mentioned Cantlay and Rory are tied at first with being 5 under. Ludwig Oberg is 4 under. My guy, I know. Bryson's 3 under. Finau 2 under, and then Those are kind of like the notable names towards the top. You want to talk a little three ball for Friday?
If you want to.
Yeah, I mean, might as well
Let me
talk.
pull some up
talk
on some
something.
FanDuel here. Three ball, okay.
If Tyler was here, we'd talk three ball, so might as well.
Yeah, I've never bet three ball, so.
I guess we could talk about like outright winning numbers right now. So Rory, who is leading in the clubhouse, he's plus 240. You mentioned Scotty at plus 600. Probably not awful odds there. Like we said, he usually starts slow. Ludwig Oberg plus 700. I don't hate that either. Cantlay, who is tied for the lead right now, we mentioned that he's at plus 900. So they must really not think he's going to hold on. Bryson's at plus 750. Xander's plus 1600. Morikawa's plus 2200. Just some of the big names towards the top there. Matthew Pavon. I don't know how to say the guy's name, but Pavlin. Okay, that's weird. He's French, I guess. So, but he's tied fourth right now at 3 under, so he's only 2 strokes back, and you can get him at plus 10,000. Like that's
Bryson's sitting -3 as well.
Yeah,
he's plus 750.
There's a lot of good stuff there. Let's do a quick. So you have Ludwig, Tony Finau, and Dustin Johnson as a 3 ball for round 2, which will be Friday, the day y'all can hear this. They're all at plus money. Ludwig had a very good day today. You can get him at plus 130. I love that one.
It's a great bet.
Who else can we find? Let's find some value.
Did you just talk about Pavon's 3 ball or no?
No, I didn't. Go ahead and talk about it.
So they've got him, Sung J M, and Siwoo Kim, and Pavon's plus 260 in that 3 ball.
That's pretty good. Where'd you see that at? Is it towards the top of the list?
No, it's down a minute.
Okay.
Go down. I scrolled for a minute there. Nah, he's probably like 10 down.
Yeah, dude, I'm trying to find like Scotty's 3 ball and I can't find it anywhere.
I'm looking as well. Where's Scotty?
Scotty doesn't
Kim Young.
You can go for either Colin Morikawa, Brooks Koepka, or Justin Thomas. Sorry, they're all plus money. I
didn't see that one.
Colin and Brooks both finished at even par today. Justin Thomas, he didn't finish at even. He was over par, but I'm not 100% sure. So if you're feeling a strong way either way on either of those two, you could definitely get in there. Not gonna lie, not the best segment we've ever put together. This is why Tyler's typically here.
Yeah, he's our golf guy right now.
He is our golf guy right now. But I found Scotty's, so you can get Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele. Scotty's plus 105, Rory's plus 240, and Xander's plus 240. I'm sorry, Rory's outshot Scotty by 6 strokes today. If you're gonna give me Rory at plus 240, I'll risk it for the biscuit. And if Scotty comes roaring back tomorrow, cool, good for him.
Rory doesn't hold himself. We all know this, though.
But he holds himself at least up to the cut, and tomorrow's not cut day. So and you got Bryson, Victor Hovland, and Max Homa. Bryson's the favorite in that 3 ball at plus 140. So if you just parlay those 3 of Oberg, McIlroy, and DeChambeau, plus 130, plus 240, and plus 140, you get plus 1776. Hey, that's America's number. Might have to place that. So what, a little tenner there gets you $170?
I'm looking here too. I saw where'd it go? Ricky Fowler, Adam Hadwin, Phil Mickelson 3 ball round 2. Ricky Fowler sitting at plus 130, and I think Phil Mickelson's at tied for 100 something right now. And I can't find Hadwin on the open scores right now, but he didn't look like he was top 50. So, and Fowler I think was sitting at 20 something right now. So,
yeah, I mean when you get into those weeds, I'll stay away personally. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Wish Tyler was here. He can help us out here a lot. I mean, if you feel a strong way about either Morikawa or Koepka, like if I would personally throw Morikawa in there, and then if you add him onto those other three, you get up to plus 4404. So that's a pretty good little parlay. Sorry.
Not bad money.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, I think we'd probably just move off of golf, honestly. It's just not our thing. If Tyler was here, I'm sure we could be of more help.
You bet your sweet bippy I make my lock of the week golf, though.
Oh, I mean, we could talk a little finishing position if you guys want to.
I mean, same Rory, as always. I'm betting on Scotty.
Yeah, I mean, you can get Scotty at plus 100 right now to finish top 5. That's not bad. Rory's minus 230 to finish top 5, which, if you ask me, is kind of crazy after day one. He's only like 2 strokes out of 6 or something like that. 2 or 3 strokes out of being tied for 6th. Of course, we're going to go to Oberg. He's plus 120 to top 5 right now. Bryson's plus 130. If you like Xander to figure it out, plus 240, or Patrick Cantley, who's tied for first right now, you can get at plus 150. I think that's really good odds.
Yeah. See, I wish Rory wasn't in the lead right now because he's my guy to pick to finish top 15 in pretty much – he's finished top 15, I think, the past 4 tournaments. So if you would have had that, I want to know what the odds were for that earlier before this started.
One thing I like is Cantley, who, again, is tied for first. I mean, I can't stop saying
plus 150 for top 5. Is that what you're saying? Or
no, minus 165 for top 10.
I see that.
That's crazy to me.
Really?
I mean, just to even be tied 10th right now, or
is what?
There is no tied 10th. There's either tied 9th or tied
9th, which
tied
is
16th.
1 stroke under right now.
Yeah, he'd have to drop 4 strokes. So
that's crazy.
Obviously, there's still 3 rounds of golf. There's still what's that? 50-something holes, 40-something holes,
something like that. I'm not good at math.
It's 54 holes. There's still 54 holes of golf. So I mean, you can definitely drop 4 strokes in 54 holes. I can do it in 1 if I want to try and do it.
Are you kidding me? I could drop that in fucking 3 holes.
So, but I mean, possibly some good money there. I will definitely be coming back to golf for my lock as well.
Yeah,
that reminds me. Try to see if you can get a hold of Tyler and get a lock for him, please.
Yeah. Does that bring us to the next category? Are you done with golf here?
Yeah, I think we're good with golf.
I think we're good with golf.
This is a horrible week for Tyler to miss. U.S. Open week is not one he should have missed.
Moving on from golf, let's talk a little NBA. The Mavs down 0-3 against the Celtics right now.
Yeah.
Luka is being a crybaby like always. I love to see Luka lose, but I wanted to see a better finals matchup here.
Well, and they looked great yesterday in the first quarter. Well, maybe not even the first 10 minutes.
Until the third quarter.
They looked good for the first 10 minutes of the first quarter, and then but what I find most interesting about what's going on is the MVP vote, or the MVP odds have drastically shift.
Is it to Kyrie or not Kyrie? Wow, what am I talking about?
It's to Jaylen Brown.
Really?
So yeah. Well, if you guys have watched or just even seen stat lines, Jaylen has either matched.
He's locked Luka.
He's either matched or outplayed Tatum in every game. And even if he has slightly lower stats in a couple categories, like apparently if you're watching, he's just consistently outplaying Tatum. So Jaylen Brown's minus 340 right now. I don't know what he was at the beginning of this. He was probably plus 600, 700, somewhere in there, if I had to guess.
Bet, yeah. Because it would have been Luka, Jason, Kyrie, probably top 3 for MVP.
It was definitely Luka, Jason, and then Kyrie was plus 1,800, but I don't remember if he was above or below Jaylen, because Jaylen would have been up there.
It would have been. He would have been right there.
Yeah, and then Tatum's dropped all the way to plus 270. At this point, I don't think you can. Basically, we're saying if you didn't go with Jaylen Brown, you missed your shot.
It's
Maybe you want to go
bet
Tatum.
on Tatum.
Yeah, the only thing I
He'd
can
have to
think,
pop off this next game.
and they would have to lose, though, is the thing. He'd have to pop off, and they'd have to lose, and then he'd have to pop off again, and Jaylen would have to look like pretty bad. And then and then Jason has a pretty good shot at it.
Where's this game at?
It'll be in Dallas again.
In Dallas.
Celtics are favored by 1 and totals 211. This game will be being played Friday, so the day y'all are listening to this.
Yep. Like 8:30 tip off,
Eastern.
I think.
Yeah, 8:30 Eastern tip off time.
I think Dallas could actually. I want to see them pull out one at least. I don't want to see a finals sweep. It's so boring.
I don't know what I want to see.
I think both sports that are in finals right now are both going for sweeps. I don't like the Mavericks have not looked competitive at all. I don't know if you guys have watched any of this series. Outside of the first 10 minutes last night, they haven't looked competitive. And that's
Luka's out there just chucking up step back threes, like
Well, and it's without
he's trying to be a fucking hero,
and he'll drive in the lane and pass it out to the wing, and they're just bricking threes. It's ugly.
Yeah, I mean,
they
I just
haven't looked good.
I would like to say they get one because it's really hard to sweep. I just don't see it.
Swept.
I just don't see it. Yeah, it just hasn't been competitive.
No. Yeah, if I was to put any money on this game, I am betting on Boston.
Yeah, I would definitely go for Boston. Series, anything for series?
Like,
you would get Luka at plus 2,900. I mean, that just feels like throwing your money away right now. Really? Yeah,
it's just ugly. I mean, when was the last time we saw a 4-0 sweep? Would it have been?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, the Warriors almost did it, and then LeBron reversed them.
No, they did do it in I think they swept when Braun was on the Cavs.
No,
I don't think Braun's ever been swept.
I feel like he got swept. Hold on.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
He's definitely been swept.
Yeah, most recent was Golden State's 4-0 victory over LeBron and the Cavaliers in 2018.
Okay.
Huh.
But I think it's going to get beat right here. I think the Celtics are going to sweep the Mavs.
I mean, it hasn't been competitive, and the Celtics, arguably third or fourth best player in Porzingis, came off the bench in game 1 and then was out for game 3 and is possibly coming off the bench for game 4. If
he plays like he did game 1, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. But we mentioned the other sport that's currently in their finals right now, which is the NHL. Florida is up 2-0 in that series. They're currently about a third of the way into the first period of game 3. Scores 0-0. Edmonton is about to go on the power play, though. Interestingly enough, Edmonton has scored 1 goal the entire series, and it was in game 2 on a power play.
Which is crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, because the Oilers
weren't really great offensively all playoffs.
Yeah, one of the best offenses in the league, if not the best offense in the league. Again, this is a Tyler thing. Tyler, where the fuck are you?
What a time to not fucking show up, Tyler.
Honestly, Tyler, what the fuck,
offense? L friend.
But they are back in
Edmonton. Friend and L offense.
They are back in Edmonton for games 3 and 4, which means Edmonton's front porch should be there to help them out, which is nice. A little bit of talk about Conn Smythe. Sergei Bobrovsky, the goalie for Florida, is currently the leader in the clubhouse for for odds on the Conn Smythe at minus 200.
Dude, he's gonna fucking brick.
When you hold one of the best offenses in the league to 1 goal through 2 games, it's crazy. And he was plus 18 or plus 12, 1,800 or 12,000 or 2,000, something like that. I think
Tyler told us to bet on him. What was it, last week?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I mean,
I can't remember if he said that or not, but I remember us talking about it.
The guy's standing on his head. I mean, he's in the middle of a penalty kill right now. I think it's his to lose at this point. I mean, obviously, anything could happen. Only being 2 games in, Edmonton could win tonight and switch the momentum of the series. But trying to find okay. So McDavid's still at plus 500. It hasn't changed even though they're down 0-2. There's just no value in betting his name.
No.
If you want somebody that scores goals, Alexander Barkov for Florida is plus 500. Draisaitl for Edmonton's plus 3,500, and Evan Bouchard for Edmonton's also plus 2,800. Like that doesn't make no sense to me. Number one is the Florida goaltender. Number 2 is Edmonton. 3 is the Florida goal scorer, and then 2 more guys from Edmonton when they're down 2-0. Like,
and the odds jump a ton from Barkov to Bouchard. Plus 500 to plus 2,800 is crazy.
He looks like a brick wall right now, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's gonna win.
This looks like it's probably gonna go 5 games, and Bob Roski's gonna get this Conn Smythe, and good for him
for sure.
At least through the first 2 games, he definitely deserves it. He's been playing really well.
Yeah.
Cole, anything else, or Clark, anything else to add on NHL?
Not really. It's the same thing as the NBA Finals right now. It's just
need to see some counterplay from the other team, you know?
Yeah, I want to see something happen.
Make it interesting, please and thank you.
But yeah, I like Bobrovsky to win the Conn Smythe right now.
Yeah, and at -200, I mean, that's still good enough odds that if you pile money onto it, you'll get some money out of it. I mean, we've bet -200 lines before. It's not fun, but it's not awful.
No.
I mean, it's 50 cents on the dollar you get back, right? Roughly.
I think so, yeah.
So, not the worst.
No. Well,
let's transition into something I never thought we would talk about. This will be the second thing this show that I thought we would never talk about, along with cricket, competitive eating. Kind of on here more as a joke, but if you know anything about competitive eating, if you've ever watched the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, you know the name Joey Chestnut, the goat of goats, just the best to ever do it. He has been banned from the competition in the July 4th Nathan's hot dog eating contest. And I've heard it's because he took a sponsorship from a different hot dog company.
A vegan hot dog company.
Oh, he might be losing my support.
That is what
now.
I've heard.
But pretty crazy. I mean, I get where Nathan's is coming from. Like, it's to promote their brand. But, like, I think the guy's won the last 8 or something something's crazy.
Yeah.
So whoever wins this year, you're a fraud, no offense. But I personally, I think Joey should live stream simultaneously doing the contest just to show that he's better, personally. But we will get to see. Sorry.
Can you bet on this anywhere? On any of the books
I bet you could. Come July 4th, open up the blue book. I bet you could find a line somewhere.
I bet, yeah.
But don't worry, you guys can watch Joey Chestnut shove hot logs of meat down his throat because him and his arch rival, Takeru Kobayashi, I think that's how you say the first name, apparently noted rivals in the competitive eating space. I don't fucking know.
Kobayashi is ridiculous. He's about the same as Joey.
Not surprised that Cole knows this.
Damn.
Chill out, tits. I'm under 200. Chill out, tits. I'm under 300.
Sorry, Cole. That was unneeded. But those two noted rivals will be competing head-to-head in a hot dog eating contest on September 2nd, streaming live on Netflix. No free plugs. Netflix, lower your fucking prices.
Netflix allow password sharing, please. What the fuck honestly, is that about?
I'm trying to use my mom's.
Yeah. But it is, they are titling it Chestnut versus Kobayashi Unfinished Beef. Love it. I think whoever came up with the title needs a pay raise.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We're just trying to fill the show with some fun stuff.
Yeah.
But
they like openly hate each other too.
Do they really? That's kind of surprising to me.
There's like a documentary
they're
about
athletes,
it somewhere.
Bro. They're athletes.
something like
Tell
that.
me, I couldn't guzzle down 70 glizzies.
You look like a guy that actually could take 70 glizzies down his throat. Just saying.
Not what you were saying the other night.
Jeez. All right,
What
let's
did
get
you
into an
say?
ad break before we get into our bread and butter of this show, boys.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you tired of the same old boring shirts? Well, we've got something exciting for you. Introducing the Tavern Sports Pocket Tee, where style meets passion for the game. Whether you're a diehard fan or just like the environment, Tavern Sports has got you covered, literally. The best part, because you're listening to Show Me the Money, you can use the code $$ to get 15% off today. So what are you waiting for? Head over to tavern-sports.square.site right now and elevate your game day experience. Tavern Sports. Beer, betting, sports.
Let's get into the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes, the moneymaker of this podcast, college football. Breaking news today, about like 3 o'clock Central Time or so, the Big 12 is currently in discussions with Allstate, along with other big corporations for a naming rights deal to change the name of the conference that could be worth anywhere from $30 to $50 million per year.
So I heard Allstate's the front runner,
I have heard that as well.
but if I was to pick a company to sponsor the Big 12 and change the name, I'm going to vote the Big Dick's Conference, baby. Dick's Sporting Goods is the best fit.
I don't know about all that. I don't know if the NCAA would go for that, but
They wouldn't go
I
for it,
100% agree.
but it would be hilarious.
They are saying that they're either going to be keeping Big or 12. So it's either going to be the State Farm 12 or the Big State Farm Conference.
I
or
think it's
Allstate.
gonna
Sorry,
ruin-
Allstate.
Allstate.
Oh, fuck, we could get sued.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah, so it's
think
either
it's-
going to be the Big Allstate Conference or the Allstate 12, which
Yeah.
also doesn't make sense because there's more than 12
Sounds-
conferences. Just change the number to the number
Yeah.
of teams.
It sounds terrible. I hate that the name of the conference is gonna just be ugly. But I
My
love
thing
that there's
is-
money coming to these programs now.
Yeah,
Even more money.
And the thing is, once they do this, all
It's
the
gonna happen
conferences will do
everywhere.
it. Every conference will do it. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, why are we like being cute with the name? Why can't it just be All States Big 12 Conference?
Agreed. Just
Why-
like soccer, it's like the BBVA conference or whatever, like La Liga BBVA and BBVA,
Yeah, exactly.
a bank
Like-
in Spain.
Like say Ford picks up the Big Ten because the Big Ten's mainly a Midwestern.
Yeah,
Why can't it be Ford's Big Ten Conference, right? Or what?
I agree.
Like, why at that point, what would you call it? The Ford 10 if you use this naming
It just sounds
nomenclature that it
weird.
sounds stupid.
I agree with you.
But
here.
they're also, I guess they're also talking about patches on jerseys, possibly changing logos at midfield, which I don't think any school will go for.
No,
They won't. They won't
but
ever do that.
But instead of like the Big Ten logo on the side of the field, the B, the I that's also a 1, and then the G that looks like a 0, like right there you would put like Allstate or State Farm or whatever. So, which that's whatever. I mean, if they have naming rights to the conference, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, let them.
I'm
do
just
it.
excited about possibly more money being brought into these programs because, the Big 12 obviously is the third best conference in the Power 5 behind
Power
the Big
4.
10 and the SEC. Oh yeah, wow. But yeah, that's gonna kind of more money in the football program is not going to be a bad thing.
I mean, to play
But
devil's
for me as an Iowa State fan,
play devil's
more
advocate,
money.
people would probably like to see the money go to different sports, like football.
It's going to
makes
get
enough
spread.
money.
It's going to be spread apart. But I think as an Iowa State fan, I would love more money being brought into our football program.
It's definitely going to be interesting. I don't think they can make any changes before the 2024 season. It would probably go into effect in 2025, I would assume.
Would make sense.
But it's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely a milestone for college football. I think this may even get us closer to almost dissolving the NCAA and these conferences becoming their own entities, kind of like people have been worried about with the SEC and the Big Ten becoming super conferences. Say the SEC absorbs what is now the ACC and the Big Ten absorbs the Pac-12. I just do it that way because that's what I would like to see, because they put Iowa and Iowa State in the same conference. Then you have these mega conferences under these naming things, separate of the NCAA, and they can figure out their own champions and their own playoffs and all that kind of. It would be really cool, in my opinion. But should we talk win totals now?
Yeah, let's go to the ACC.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to do the ACC this week. Kind of sucks because we're saving the SEC for last, which means we had a coin flip this week for either ACC or Big 12. Imagine if we picked Big 12, the news would have been perfect.
It would have been.
It would have been. But, again, all rankings are coming from 24/7 Sports, just like they did last week. So if you see a different ranking, get fucked. Let's start with the ACC champions from last year. Florida State's win total is 9.5. Florida State had the 7th ranked transfer class, headlined by Marvin Jones Jr., an edge out of Georgia, Jalen Brown, a wide receiver out of LSU, and Malik Brown, a wide receiver out of Alabama. They had no notable players depart in the transfer portal. When you think about it, that makes a lot of sense. They're a good program, had a good year last year. They should have a good year again this year. They were kind of decimated by the draft. Jared Verse, Keon Coleman, Brendan Fisk, and Trey Benson all went to the NFL, along with Jordan Travis. Of course, Jordan Travis was on a Heisman run, had these guys go into the playoffs before that awful, horrible leg injury he suffered against North Alabama. But like Jared Verse and Brendan Fisk, that's their like 2 big D linemen are gone. Of course, they got an edge in, and they also brought in some other defensive line guys. We just didn't highlight them.
They like edging? Sorry.
Keon Coleman, of course, was their wide receiver 1, and Trey Benson was responsible for most of the work out of their backfield last year. So they have a lot of production to replace.
Didn't they bring in DJ in their transfer class?
They did bring in
well?
Uiagalelei. Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
A little bit on me for not adding him to the notable transfers.
Yeah, I know we talked a little bit about it last week when we were talking about the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Or the Big Ten.
Florida State had the 12th ranked recruiting class, no 5 stars, 16 4-stars. Florida State's one of those programs, they're not afraid to play freshmen, but they typically don't because they usually have some pretty good upperclassmen.
To the schedule, baby.
Yeah. They are playing the week 0 foreign game overseas in the UK in Dublin against Georgia Tech. I don't see this going any way other than Florida State. I mean, maybe the travel gets them, but I doubt it.
Probably not.
That's what it's there for.
I mean, Georgia State every now and then is sneaky good, but I don't think it's this year. At least not in this game. Of course, they have to fly 1,200 miles or something like that, so anything can happen. But so then they're off for a week. No, they're not.
Nope, they go straight into Boston College.
Wow. Straight into Boston College at home. Luckily, it's only Boston College. If it was a school with any name, that would worry me. But it's just Boston College.
That's 2 dubs in a row.
Yeah, I would agree.
Easily.
Then the following week, they get Memphis.
Yep.
They get a week off after. Yeah, they get a week off after the Boston College game, and then Memphis at Florida State. I don't see them struggling there.
I do not.
And then Cal, a new ACC team, new to the conference this year, coming all the way from Southern California out to Florida. Cal hasn't been good in years.
Yeah, they're gonna win this game as well. That's 4-0 to start the year.
Yeah, and then another team
this is
new to the conference, making a jump from Group of 5 to Power 5, SMU out of Texas the following week. But this is their first away game. They have to go out to Texas to play SMU. I don't believe this. I mean, looking at the schedule, this shouldn't be SMU's first ACC game, so the jitters should be gone. I don't know much about SMU, but I would be surprised.
I think this game's a little more favored towards FSU. I think FSU should win this game, but it's still I think a toss up. And personally,
So
I
this
would
is one
take
of those
FSU.
games that are up for grabs.
Yeah, this is.
I think SMU could definitely surprise them. I'm not saying they
Definitely.
can't, but I'm not going to give this one to SMU.
I'm not. This is a tentative possible loss. We can mark that down in our sheet over there if you want to.
I wouldn't. I'm going to give this one to
Give it to FSU.
Yeah.
That's fair
So
because the next game I think.
what we mentioned the total's 9.5. So what they have to go 10-2, right? 2 losses to go over, 3 losses and they go under.
Yep. So we'll give them 5-0 to start.
Yeah, I would say 5-0 to start. I think that's pretty fair.
I'm fine with that as long as you guys agree that the next week's a loss.
Yeah, I think I think finally they have to play 2 possibly decent teams back to back. I think against Clemson, yes, it is at Florida State. Clemson was good last year. They're a year older. They're a year better.
Yeah.
I think they
Weren't
can
they
get this one.
a pretty young team last year, Clemson too?
Yes, they are very young.
I think, yeah, Clemson and FSU are the 2 favorites to win the ACC, in my opinion.
The 2 of them in Miami are the only teams that were in totals of 9.5. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, I agree. Clemson takes this one. And then another bye, week 7.
Yeah, everyone has 2 buys this year. You'll have that.
Then they have
go
3 this year.
Okay, whatever. And then they go into Duke. Yeah, they're at Duke.
At Duke.
Riley Leonard left in the draft.
I think this is a win for FSU.
I would agree. Oh yeah, I completely forgot we were talking about Florida State. Yeah, that's a win. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. Duke can be one of those sneaky teams. I mean, like it depends on how they show up, like their first few games. Like that's how their season depends every year, though.
They were good the first few games last year, and then their defense stopped coming to play football.
Yeah, but they were still a good ball club who put up good fights.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no one's saying that they can't cover, but I don't think they win.
No, I don't think they win.
The next one I think could be an issue at Miami, going to South Beach. We already mentioned Miami, another favorite to win the conference. I think a lot of people like them for the college football playoffs. They had Cam Ward transfer in to Miami, so they have a legit quarterback down in Miami.
Where did he come from again?
Cam Ward is from Utah, right? He's
the Utah
Cam Rising
quarterback.
No, yeah, you're right. Cam Rising was Utah. Wazoo.
Let me look him up. Cam Ward.
Yeah, Wazoo, right? Washington State.
Hold on. I'm getting hockey players. Yeah, Wazoo.
Yeah, from Washington State. And Washington State had a decent year last year until they stopped playing football. I think in South Beach, I want to give this one to Miami.
I'm fine with that.
Cole, any objections to that, buddy?
No. That's no.
All right, Cole. I want to hear your opinion on this next one, man.
Oh boy.
North Carolina coming
wait.
Coming in to FSU.
FSU wins this game.
I would agree, but I want Cole's input because it's Cole's team. I mean, the Tar Heels are a completely new look team. They lost their quarterback to the NFL. They struggled last year with him.
This year, I am not looking forward to watching any North Carolina fucking football at all. They're going to fucking suck. They lost a lot of seniors. They lost their fucking quarterback. I have no positive outlook. I have no positive outlook for this year. I think their ticket sales are going to go down. I think everything is going to go down for them. So chalk this one up for FSU all day.
Yeah, FSU.
They're not even going to cover. Like North Carolina's not even going to cover.
Moving on to the next game, which is an interesting one, at Notre Dame.
Yeah, and I don't remember if we gave this one to Notre Dame when we talked Notre Dame's schedule or not.
I think we should.
I would agree. I want to give this one to Notre Dame for the pure fact that Notre Dame has to, what we talked about, they have to play 2 games this year or 3 games this year, depending on how good USC is. Like,
Yeah.
they should be healthy coming in, barring some crazy injury. I'm just not worried against a team that doesn't have to compete week in and week out.
And that gives them their third loss.
That gives them their third loss. And then they finish up with Charleston State, and then of course on rivalry week they have Florida.
I still think they take Florida and Charleston.
Florida is going to be such a good team this year, and their record is not.
Florida's going to be scary.
But here's the thing: the SEC is going to be so good, their record's not going to show it. I think Florida could easily be a 9-3, 8-4 team, and still be a better football team than they were last year. I think Florida gets this one.
Okay.
Like, I want to give this one to Florida, and then, I mean, if we want to give them back the Clemson or the Miami one,
they still go under.
Yeah, like I think Florida State is a solid under. We could be wrong. We could really be underestimating them, but they kind of lost a lot to the draft. They really did.
Yeah. I in my opinion, like, I think they beat Florida here, and that puts them at what, a 9-win season?
Yeah, that would put them at 9, maybe. which is still under.
Yeah, I still think 8 or 9 is the line or the spot for their win total.
I mean, they're going to start off 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to start off 5-0. They will be ranked in the top 10 going into play Clemson on October 5th.
Yeah,
and then if they beat Clemson and they beat Duke, they'll go into the Miami game top 3 probably in the country. I wouldn't be surprised, because at that point you're 7-0. You've beat 2 pretty decent teams at least. But out of these 4 that we kind of have bookmarked as losses, I think they for sure dropped 3 of them.
Definitely 3 of them.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, they're going under 9.5.
All right. Cool.
I think that's a really good bet, to be honest.
Yeah, that one feels pretty good.
What is the minus? What are the? Can we bet? See what the odds are though? Actually, to go under
if
there.
you want to pull those up and just have them open.
Oh my gosh!
They should all be right around even-ish money.
Why can't I click NCAA football? I can't click it. It's
they're both minus 110. Whether you want to go over or under minus 110.
Yeah.
So
that's probably the best you'll ever get it. So
yeah, I don't hate that, honestly. But let's move to Clemson, a team that we gave FSU a loss on. Who knows? It may or may not happen.
Yeah,
I think Clemson's going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah, their win total is 9.5.
Say it.
No, I wouldn't hate to say it. I think you're.
No, I fucking hate Clemson.
They were a team we talked about a lot about the end of the year last year.
Yeah, they started looking really good at the end of the year. Win total is 9.5, like we kind of said. According to 24/7 Sports, they got 0 transfers in, which is kind of weird to me, but also not, because Dabo is like a notable transfer portal hater. So
yeah,
they did lose 2 members of their secondary to the transfer portal. Andrew Makuba, I believe is how you say that, a safety, and Torian Pride Jr., a cornerback, and then Nate Wiggins, who is also a cornerback, left in the draft, along with Rook Ororo. I don't know how to say it. Don't come for me. I don't know. I believe he was a D lineman, and then Will Shipley, their running back, also went to the NFL. They had the 11th ranked recruiting class, 2 5-stars, 11 4-stars. That's pretty good.
Dabo, that's why Dabo doesn't use the transfer portal, because that man
Dabo recruits. Dabo recruits, dude.
That's why I hate Clemson.
Hey man,
North Carolina can never do it.
They are starting their season with an awful matchup, man.
Tough game.
It's a neutral site game in Atlanta against Georgia. Call it a neutral site if you want. It's not.
It's a Georgia home game.
It's a Georgia home game.
It's an L.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia's going to be a powerhouse again this year. At least everyone seems to think. So I'm not going to go against that, and we'll just give it to Georgia. And I don't think it gets any easier week 2. They got App State. It's App State in Death Valley, but App State gets people, dude. I don't think we should give it to them. I don't think it would be responsible to give it to App State.
But it'll be a dogfight.
I think, yeah.
It's going to be a great game to watch.
Depending on the spread, you could definitely see me going App State on the spread come.
You boys want to go to that game?
You guys are way closer than I am.
Fuck around, I might.
Josh, I'll go with you.
Dude, I might. We might have to look at tickets for that.
That would be a fun game.
I got a lot of PTO to burn. So then they get a bye week after a kind of a hard start to the season. And then they get NC State, the Wolfpack, at home in Death Valley. NC State is kind of on the outside looking in to win the
Clemson's
ACC.
gonna win this game.
They definitely have to win this game if they want a chance at it. But I think we give this one to Clemson.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And then after that, Stanford, the third and final new ACC team, they come over to Death Valley. Again, I don't think this should be their first ACC game, so maybe a little bit of a reprieve there that their first ACC game isn't in Death Valley.
Yeah.
But that's pretty rough. Stanford's bad. They've been bad since Andrew Luck went to the NFL. I'm not going to give this one to Stanford. Show me you're good before I say you're good.
Yep.
So hear me out. I know we gave Florida State a loss against Clemson. I also want to give Clemson a loss against Florida State because I think this game could go either way. And they have 2 losses to give before they hit the under. And looking ahead, I don't see another loss.
I'm being honest. I see 2 losses on the schedule. And first one, obviously, Georgia. Second one is either App State or Florida State. Other than that, I think they win the rest.
So, again, I know it's kind of contradictive and counterintuitive, but let's give Florida State a win. Wake Forest, I don't see being an issue.
Nope.
Virginia is not going to be an issue. Louisville,
maybe probably the next toughest.
No.
And then Virginia Tech's scrappy sometimes, but I don't see it. Then at Pitt can be a tough place to play, but I don't see it.
No.
And then
Citadel, baby.
Yeah, versus the Citadel.
Yeah, fucking big old fucking W on that one.
And then
I don't think the Citadel won a single game. Where is that? Is that game in Death Valley or is that
it's in Death Valley? Yeah, you're not playing the Citadel.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if the Citadel plays a single home game.
They do. They have the worst stadium on the fucking planet.
And then they round out the year.
It's smaller than my high school stadium.
Then they round out the year in Death Valley against in-state rival South Carolina. South Carolina, another team that had their ranks decimated by the NFL draft. It's not basketball. I'm not going to be riding cock like I was. So,
dude, such a great week to be in Charleston. Everyone's so mad at each other the entire time.
So I like the over.
I like the over as well.
But they're definitely either going to win 9 or 10.
Yeah, 2 losses is the max.
No, I wouldn't say they could lose the Louisville game.
That's fair. I think, but for me, looking at the schedule, I think there's 2 losses.
The hardest part is when you can only pick up 2 losses, right? They can only take 2 losses to go over. When you start your season with a bona fide for sure loss, and if they beat Georgia somehow,
they're going undefeated.
They'll go over for sure. I don't know about undefeated.
They're over for sure.
They'll go over for sure. But I don't think responsibly you can call that a loss to Georgia or call that a win against Georgia. So
yeah,
I would say over, but very tentatively.
Yeah, 9.5 is a great spot. That's a great line by
and
Vegas.
The book thinks it's going to go under. The money thinks it's going to go under. You can get under at -170, but over at +138 right now.
I like that.
Plus money on this over.
What do you think it would be after the loss to Georgia? that line might even go up a tiny bit.
No, I don't think it will. I think they are 100% intending this to be a loss to Georgia. I don't think that
That's
line will
fair.
move an inch.
That's fair.
Unless it comes down to a last second play, then the odds could get worse for you. I don't see the odds getting better for you by
You
them
don't see
losing
it
to
after
Georgia.
now.
Unless
right.
Georgia rips them limb from limb.
Yeah.
Which they
So
very well might.
They might.
could.
Somebody else
So
want
we
to take
like
the lead
the
on the
over.
next one?
NC State. They're over under right now, sitting at 8.5. They had the 18th ranked transfer class, headlined by Noah Rogers, a wide receiver out of OSU, Justin Jolie, a tight end out of UConn, and Jordan Waters, the running back from Duke. They didn't have any notable departures, and they had Peyton Wilson, who was drafted to the NFL. And currently, they have the 28th ranked recruiting class, no 5 stars and 5 4 stars. Going into the schedule, let me find it over here on my handy dandy.
It's
breakdown.
on the thing you just read off of.
I know. I have 2 different things for schedules. So, first week 1, Western Carolina. Never heard of them.
When?
Yeah, I mean it's an FBS.
I think their
FCS.
attendance is about the same as Ambrose.
Okay, so NC State win week 1 against Western Carolina. Then they play Tennessee neutral site, Duke's
Loss.
Mayo Bowl in Charlotte.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah, I would count this as a loss. Tennessee, they lost a good amount of stuff to the NFL, but they kept their quarterback. Milton.
Joe Milton got drafted by the Lions.
Yeah, Joe Milton but it's still Tennessee. I wouldn't give it to NC State. Maybe Tennessee looks really bad week 1, and I go with NC State on the spread here, maybe. But I think just name recognition alone, I would chalk this one up to Tennessee.
I agree. Then week 3, Louisiana Tech.
LA Tech, baby. Loss.
I'm going to give them a win.
Yeah, I'd give them a win.
I'm going to give a loss.
Next week, week 4, at Clemson. We already gave Clemson a win here.
I think we stick to that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think we treat this like the Clemson and FSU situation where we say we don't know and just count it as a loss for both.
I think this Clemson game is a loss for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Especially in Death Valley, that's going to be rough.
Yeah, very tough to win that game. Moving on to the week 5 game, NIU
Northern
at
Illinois.
Home. Yeah, Northern Illinois.
Another FBS team.
And the win.
Who used to be really good historically back in the day, but
NIU sucks now.
They've had a couple quarterbacks taken into the NFL. But
Chase McCown? Josh McCown.
Yeah, Josh McCown. But
it's a win for North Carolina.
Yeah, I don't see this one going any other way.
Next week, week 6, against Wake Forest at home.
Win.
Ooh, yeah. That'd be a good game, though.
Honestly, didn't hear anything about Wake Forest last year.
It was scrappy.
I don't know anything about Wake Forest. I mean, it's the ACC. It's probably the power conference I know the least about, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. All I know is I watched Wake win. Who was there?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't even remember. But yeah, moving on. Week 7, Syracuse. I think another win.
Hot take, if this was in Syracuse, it would worry me. But Syracuse is allergic to playing defense. And this is a Dabo Sweeney coach. This is NC State.
Yeah, this is NC State.
I mean, maybe we get the same old Wolfpack, but the hype around them has me high on them. I don't think they lose to Syracuse.
I don't think so either.
Cole? I don't either. I don't either. Syracuse historically is just not a football school.
moving to week 8 at California, traveling across the country. This one is one I think they could mark as a loss. Possibly.
Cal's just so bad. I mean,
They're
anything's
so
possible when you're going across 4 time zones and the entire country.
Yeah.
But Cal's so bad.
Initial instinct, NC State wins this game, but this is one that I think could be a loss at somehow, some way at the end of the day.
Yeah, dude, and I really don't know why I like NC State so much. I've never watched a Wolfpack football game. My cousin,
Why are we about to
shout out my cousin. She is on the dance team, I think, for NC State. She's pretty cool.
Up a picture here.
She's at least at the home games, so say hi to her if you see her, I guess. But I don't know, man.
You got to be your cousin though.
At Cal, definitely a win. I think from all of us.
I don't know about definitely, but I would give it to him.
But yeah, give it to him.
I would give it to him.
Then week 9, got a bye. Going into week 10, playing Stanford at home.
Yeah, I mean, reverse situation, right? Stanford has to fly all the way across the country here.
Yeah.
Stanford's not good at football.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything about Stanford.
Andrew Luck, ever fucking heard
Andrew
of him?
Luck is about it.
That's it. No, that's it.
Wait. Oh, shoot. Did Fitzpatrick play there, or was that Harvard?
Fitzpatrick was Harvard.
Harvard. Same thing. It's a smart people.
Hear me out. Out of these last 3, Duke, at Georgia Tech, at UNC, I think they dropped. The hardest game is
North Carolina. Might be the one they drop.
Dude, I don't even know about that.
I think that's the one.
I think
out of those 3.
I seriously don't think North Carolina wins over 7 games this year.
I think NC State could lose to North Carolina this year.
Yeah, I just think one out of these last 3 we take away from them.
Okay.
But even at that, they're 9-3, and that's over. And I'm not even 100% sure they lose any of those last
3. Agreed.
I don't think they lose any of the 5 before that.
No.
Which is the NIU to Stanford stretch. I don't think they lose any of those. I think they're a 2-loss team, and they're before October 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's a team. And if they play a good game against Clemson, play a good game against Tennessee, you're talking about a top 15 team in the country come the end of the year, maybe. Maybe not.
That's so weird because it just feels wrong.
It does feel wrong. Like if I looked you in your eyes and said NC State's going to win 10 games this year, I wouldn't believe.
I'd laugh at you.
I would laugh.
But I think they can win 9.
Yes. If we had to give them a loss those last 3 games, though, I think UNC is the team that will take a win. Just because it is a rivalry game.
You can tell me that they
true.
lose the last 3 games, and I wouldn't tell you you're wrong.
That's also very true.
Yeah.
Like maybe NC State's kind of like our USC, where we just say stay away. But that feels boring, and Tyler's not here to be boring. So
yeah. So do we? I think we give him the over somehow.
I like the over. I'll drink the Kool-Aid on the Wolfpack.
I'll do it just one time.
I think we're doing it because of the basketball run, but I'm in. You know,
I'm in.
I'm not going to say no.
Gotta put your money somewhere. You can't win money if you don't risk a little bit.
Hey, all it takes is a chip of a chair, baby.
Facts.
We'll give him the over here.
I like the over.
Moving on to the next ACC.
We're pretty generous.
Team. Yeah, we were really generous with NC State. Why did we do that?
Dude, I don't know.
We've been really generous with every game, every team.
So
I think the ACC is just really fucking bad.
Yeah.
I mean, we tore FSU a new one, dude.
There's like 4 teams that are good. So moving on to Miami. Their over-under sitting at 9.5 games. They have
another one of those teams that could be really good or really bad.
Yeah. They are sitting at the 10th ranked transfer class, headlined by Cam Ward out of Wazoo, Damian Martinez, running back out of Oregon State, Sam Brown, wide receiver out of Kentucky. Their notable departures are Colby Young, a wide receiver, Najalik Kelly, an edge rusher, and Jaden Wayne, also an edge rusher. They had no notable NFL draft picks, and they're sitting at the fourth ranked recruiting class, no 5 stars, and a whopping 22 4 stars.
Yeah, that'll get you a pretty good rating if you're bringing in that many 4 stars. But fuck, dude, they
Yeah.
got them kids. They ain't even leaving their hometown. You know, they ain't even leaving their home neighborhood. Man, there's so much talent in South Beach. Like it's pretty easy for them to get recruits. Plus,
That's
you're in
true.
South Beach. Like
Yeah.
Who would want to leave in the first place?
honestly,
Yeah,
and you
right.
go up to Iowa and try to get a kid down there, like show them some of the ladies, show them how nice the weather is. Fuck, dude.
I
Would you rather
think,
play in the Big Ten in December or fucking South Beach?
hey, Iowa State did get a quarterback out of this area, so he is our starting QB.
Yeah, like the
But
fifth best one in the area or some shit like that, a 3 star.
he was solid last year, though.
Anyway,
But week 1 at Florida, I'm giving
yeah.
Miami the loss.
Well, and I mean, I don't know if this is at Florida or if it's like a neutral, but we have it
I'm
as
seeing at Florida.
that's what I have too. So I'm assuming it's in Gainesville.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this Florida team is going to be really good. I don't know if their record's going to necessarily show it, but if they're going to be really good, they have to start with a win against a Miami team that people think is going to be good this year.
Which I think they will
Yeah.
do that.
I agree. I don't see anything bad coming the next 5 weeks.
No. I think the next 5 weeks are all wins. Them being week 2, Florida A&M, week 3, Ball State, week 4, USF, week 5, Virginia Tech, and week 6, Cal.
Jesus.
The only thing
All
with Cal
5.
is they have to go all the way out to California.
Yeah.
And if here's the thing, we've talked about Cal a lot. If Cal's good somehow, and they have all these teams that we're giving wins coming out to them, we could all look like fucking bozos. But I don't think Cal's gonna be good. So
No, I think those are 5 wins for Miami.
for sure.
Then they get a bye. They're in week 7. Week 8, they're playing at Louisville. I would be willing to give Miami the loss here.
You could talk me
I would
into
too.
it. You could talk me into it for sure.
I would be willing to give
I think
them the
Louisville's
loss.
going to be a decent team, and they have to win a couple good games to be a decent team.
I agree. They always are
So-
kind of like right up on that cusp of like being a decent team every year.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
here's the thing with Louisville, and we're going to talk about them next, so I don't want to go too deep into their schedule, but we mentioned them against Miami and against Clemson. And
Mhm.
if they get both those wins, I mean, the ACC isn't the best conference top to bottom. I mean, we're talking about the best ones, and we've only talked about Louisville twice. So I don't know what
Mhm.
Louisville's out of conference looks like, but maybe Louisville has a good year this year. Who knows?
I think they could.
I'd love it if they did.
It would be cool. I think
Are you-
I think college football is more fun when Louisville's good.
Are we
Agreed.
down to give them a loss here then?
Yeah, in Louisville,
Yeah.
I'll give Louisville that win.
Okay. Going on to week 9, I think Florida State.
So here's the
Beats-
thing. We gave Miami the win when we did the
Which-
Florida State rundown.
which I think we should keep.
I don't have an issue with that. I mean, it's in South Beach. I mean, the Seminoles could be so bad. They lost so much production on both sides of the ball. It's not funny. But it's also FSU. They always have good transfer classes. They always have good recruiting class. Like they always retool. They don't rebuild. So if you told me the Seminoles are really good this year, I wouldn't say you're wrong. But if you
disagree.
told me that they win 4 games, I'd be like, yeah, maybe.
It could happen. Yeah.
Probably, you know.
I think yeah, we give this one to Florida State.
To Florida State or Miami?
Whoa, who are we talking
I think
about?
Florida State wins.
So we gave Florida State a loss here.
Did we?
Yeah, because it's in Miami. And I think we keep that. We had one team get their whole roster decimated, another one that didn't. That's
fair.
kind of where I'm at on it.
That's fair.
And then after the Florida State game, they get Duke in South Beach. I
think
don't
they
think
win.
Duke's going to be very good.
Yeah, I think Miami gets a win
Duke
there.
will be a 7-win football team this year, probably.
Maybe.
They'll be in a bowl game.
Just make a bowl game. And
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
after that, the Yellow Jackets rear their ugly heads again. I mean, they're all over these schedules. I think
think
here's the
Miami
thing.
pulls this one through.
Oh, for sure. But like Georgia Tech, they're one of the OGs of college football.
Mhm.
It's always fun when the Yellow Jackets are good at football, but I don't see it being this year.
No. After Georgia Tech, they get another bye. And in week 13, they play Wake Forest at home. I think we give them the win here. Give Miami the win.
Yeah.
For sure, 100%.
And then rounding out the end of the season, they play at Syracuse, week 14. I think.
I also give them a win there.
Syracuse is very bad at football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would put them at 10-2. Notable losses we didn't give them: Florida State. But we also gave them a loss against Louisville that they could win.
Yep.
So I like the over.
I think it's worth it. Let's look at the line for that, actually.
For what?
Because for the over-under, what the odds are for Miami.
Sure.
Over plus 138, under minus 170.
So a lot like that Clemson line that we just looked at a little bit ago.
I don't know. I think it's good money-wise to bet on the over if you're trying to make a little bit of money. But something's pulling me to the under. I think they lose. If they lose to Louisville, they lose to Florida State, in my opinion.
Agreed. No, 100%.
But I think you could go either way.
We instantly gave Florida the win in week 1. Miami's actually a 3.5-point favorite right now. I understand it's the second week of June, and this game does get played for a month and a half, or 2.5 months. Sorry.
Yeah, but what changes?
Exactly.
Injury. Maybe.
So I think it's got to be the over. I mean, if they're favored against Florida, and we instantly gave them a loss against Florida, out of that's just bias and instincts. We don't know anything about these rosters.
That's
not much, at least. I mean, we know a little bit, but not much.
I think out of these teams, though, to most likely go under,
I don't see any snakes in the grass here, right? Like, you give them the Florida State loss, they're 9-3, but out of those 3, you're telling me there's no chance they get Florida, there's no chance they get Louisville, there's no chance they get Florida State? I mean, you just got to win one of those 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any danger in the other 9.
No.
Like, none of the other 9 scare me at all.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the over is fine then. Because even if they do lose 3 games, they still hit the over.
No, that's wrong.
Or wait, that's 9. That's 9. Never mind.
It's a good line. It's a good line.
Oh, man. I'm fine with saying bet on the over. But low-key might put money on the under if I was putting money on it myself.
Fair enough. Let's get into the last team we're going to talk about. That's Louisville, as I already mentioned. Their win total is 8.5. They had 13th ranked transfer class headlined by Ja'Cory Brooks, a wide receiver out of Alabama. Colin Lacey, a wide receiver out of South Alabama, if I remember correctly. And then Mark Redmond, a tight end out of San Diego State. Notable departures: Tyler Barron and edge. Isaac Guerendo, is that how you say it? Went to the NFL. He was the running back that the 49ers drafted. He was pretty good last year. 58th ranked recruiting class, no 5 stars, 2 4 stars. So not exactly a destination this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any issues the first 2 weeks.
No.
Week 1 against Austin Peay. Week 2, Jacksonville State. I mean, there's always
I think they're fine.
There's always a big name school that loses in the early weeks. I don't think it's going to be Louisville.
No. I think first 3 weeks you could almost give them a win in all three categories there.
If you told me they lost to Georgia Tech, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised, but giving them benefit of the doubt, I think they win.
The only issue I have
It's so
is
hard.
the books have this at 8.5. And if you don't give them a loss to Georgia Tech, I don't see the rest of the losses outside of the following week at Notre Dame. They have to go to South Bend.
I think, well, wait. Clemson.
I mean, we're not to there yet, but.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, they go into. I think they lose it at Notre Dame.
Yes.
I remember when we
that's
talked.
A for sure loss.
I remember when we talked the Notre Dame schedule, we said Notre Dame should be fearful of this Louisville team. And I think they should be, but I don't know if Louisville gets it. And then they got SMU at home. I don't see an issue there. I think they tend to play a pretty similar style of football. So who knows? The floodgates could open and bad things could happen. And then at Virginia, I don't see it.
I don't see them losing that one.
And I understand we just gave them a win against Miami. But if you told me they lost against Miami, I wouldn't be surprised.
Is that one you want to give a loss to both schedules?
Kinda, just because I think it could go either way.
Okay. I'm fine with it.
I don't know, dude. The ACC is so hard.
Yeah. Who do they have after Miami then?
At Boston College, basically a bye week.
Should be a win, yeah.
And then we get Clemson.
I want to give them
Clemson the win here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which I'm fine with.
I think this is one of those games that could go either way.
I think it really definitely could, but I think we just keep this one consistent.
Gonna be, a better program.
Yeah, I think the pedigree of Clemson, Dabo Swinney, and what they're building there, I think you just go with that here.
Yeah,
and then at Stanford, we've shit on them the whole podcast. I'm not going to side with them now.
Fuck them.
If you told me they won the game, I mean, Stanford has to win at least one football game somewhere, right? I mean, that's kind of how it works. But and then they have Pittsburgh at home, and then at Kentucky to finish. In-state rival. I would be interested to see.
I think Kentucky
the history of that rivalry. Honestly,
first glance, I'm giving Kentucky a win. But I want to hear some of the
I don't know anything about Kentucky.
They had probably one of their best years last year in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know.
I almost want to give Kentucky the win there.
So hang on, I'm looking, trying to find like history on the.
Go for that, buddy.
On the matchup. What I'm trying to find. So last year, Kentucky won by 7. Kentucky did not cover the 7.5. So we kind of have them marked down for 3 losses, one of them kind of being a coin flip against Miami. At the 3 losses, they hit the over pretty easily with 9 wins. Again, that's with a coin flip. Maybe they lose to Kentucky or Pittsburgh at the end of the year. Who knows?
Okay. I did find the stats.
Okay. What do you got?
All-time series, Kentucky wins it 20-15. And the current streak is 5 by Kentucky. And the latest meeting, Kentucky won, you said, right? by
Yeah,
7.
they won by 7 last year.
Seeing that still makes me favor Kentucky here.
Okay. And that would put them at 4 losses. Again, the one kind of questionable one to Miami. I just don't know. I feel like the under, because I know we were worried about the whole Miami number at 9.5. But if you flip this Miami here to a solid loss against Louisville, which gives Miami the win against Louisville, your Miami over looks better, your Louisville under looks better.
So you said you like the under?
They just kind of give me under vibes. Like if I looked you dead in the eyes and said week 3 they lose to Georgia Tech, would you be surprised?
No.
And then if they do that, and then they go back-to-back losses, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, then maybe they struggle against SMU but find the win, have a pretty easy win at Virginia. But then they play Miami after 3 out of 4 kind of shaky games.
Yeah. To me, they look like an 8-win team.
I agree. But that puts you at the under number.
Yeah, I like the under here.
I think I also like the under here.
So, under on Louisville, and I think we had over almost on everything, every other team here.
Yeah, I mean, let's run it through, right? FSU, we had under 9.5. And kind of just based off of we don't know what they're going to be. They have to retool everything. We had the over on Clemson because we liked how young they were last year, how good they looked at the end of the year last year. We think Dabo can build on
that one. I really like, yeah.
NC State, we had the over. We really only saw 2 clear losses. That gives them a loss and a half to play with in there somewhere. Maybe we're riding the wave off of the basketball team. We don't know, but we all decided to kind of go over there. We like the over on Miami. We were kind of scared, kind of ended up at like a 9-3, 10-2 number. But once we looked at the books and saw that the books liked them by 3.5 over Florida week 1, then you can convince me that they beat Louisville or they beat Florida State or they beat Florida. And if they can beat one of those 3, I think they easily go over. So we like over Miami 9.5. And then we kind of are talking ourselves into an under on Louisville 8.5. If you told me they won 9-10 games, I wouldn't be shocked. If you told me that they won 5 games, I wouldn't be shocked. It's Louisville. You never know who's going to show up. But they were the 5 teams ranked highest to possibly win the ACC. So that's kind of why we just chose to go with them. Next week, we will be talking Big 12. But before we get out of here, we're going to go to another ad break and then go into our locks.
This episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook lines and parlays, and of course food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023, TikTok at Tavern.Sports, and Twitter at Tavern Sports 23.
All right, so we don't have locks for Tyler or Parker this week. I'll go first. I like Ludwig Oberg, in his 3-ball for Friday's round at plus 130. It's plus money. It's a little scary, but he was, 3rd today? Finau and Johnson, I think, both shot even. No, sorry. Finau shot -2. But yeah, I like Oberg here.
Give me in a fucking rival game. Cubs cards. Give me Cubs money line 110.
On what day?
Okay.
Friday. Tomorrow. Today.
Is it -120 or -150 again?
150.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. And rounding it out for my pick, right now you can get Jason Tatum under 3.5 3-pointers made in game 4, -148.
3.5, you said?
3.5 3-pointers. Yes. And are we ready to close out?
I think so. So with
right.
those locks, we gave you some picks. I mean, a lot of this was kind of bullshit this week, but we just need to get a show out and we need to talk about our over and
next week's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, next week we're going to be talking Pac-12. We know a
Big
lot
12.
more about, or Big 12. We know a lot more about the Big 12 than we do the ACC. We have Clark here, and he's going to promise us he's going to be here next week to talk Iowa State. We're also going to be talking 303 next week with our new contributor. We're going to be adding a new contributor to the show. He's going to start next week. So we've given you guys the picks, and make sure after you win to show me the money.
Show me the money!